This is A-Game, an all-natural herbal dietary supplement formulated exclusively for men. Our proprietary blend was designed with one goal in mind: to improve your overall health, rejuvenating your vitality, energy, strength, and libido. Want to be at your peak performance in everything you do? Then bring your A-Game. Fast-acting, long-lasting, with no side effects.
Oh my God.
Hey all my Crimsonites, and welcome to the Crimson Cure channel, where we embrace our femininity, increase our womanly value, and celebrate our brothers. So join me on our feminine journey to learn, heal, and grow. Hey everybody. How are we doing today? Hopefully everybody is good. So I need you guys to come on in because we have something very important to discuss today. We are talking about Black women and their feelings over facts, but more specifically, we are going to talk about the issue of Miss Kamala Harris. Because I got some things to share with you today. So I need you to come on in. I need you to get the likes up. Come on, bam, 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 bam. You gotta get the likes up. Bam, bam. You're gonna So come on in. Hurry on up. Don't forget to support the show and hit the likes because we have so much to cover. So what I want to talk about today is sort of still coming along this sense of independence away from Black men that Black women have. This sort of, we can make it on our own, we can do it on our own, we're gonna do it on our own, that sort of thing. And I'm gonna point out how this doesn't get Black women anywhere. This doesn't get Black people anywhere. This doesn't progress us at all. Having that type of selfish me mindset does not help Black women specifically, and it does not help Black people in general. Yet and still, you guys still always try to go down this route. And how many times you gonna hit your head on a brick wall before you realize it hurt? I'm not understanding, not seeing any good results, but still looking to do the same thing over and over in hopes that at some point in time, Zaddy is gonna give you the crumbs off the table that he promised you. And not even the crumbs, he promised you a seat, but you're not gonna get a seat at the table. You will not. I can guarantee that you're not. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna share my screen. And I am going to, there are two videos, but I'm not gonna show them back to back. I wanna show the one and then talk about it, and then we'll go back. All right, so let me go ahead, let me share. Okay, this is the one that I want you guys to listen to. All right.
Now, I usually try to keep it quiet, but I gotta read this. Kamala pulled the Black card, the HBCU card, the Black Geeks United card, the Black Girl Magic card, got all the votes, and we ain't heard from her since. Now, before anybody comes for me, because I know how you girls like to tussle, Obama administration vibes. Like it was a great thing for symbolism, but meaningless for the Black community. And she disappoints me. I have a lot of respect for her for various different reasons, but I can't hide when a Black person disappoints me. I follow her on Twitter, and she was loud and proud and out there before she got elected, and now she's quiet. Too quiet. She might be more quiet than Pence, and he's a robot. The vice presidency is really a meaningless place in the government, especially for a Black person to advocate and fight for Black legislation in this country. But then again, maybe that just wasn't. Now, I usually try.
Now, let me come back out of that. Okay. So, You have a young lady who made a TikTok video, and even though she was speaking a little low, I'm hoping that you were able to hear what she was saying and actually read the caption. And it's 100% facts. Kamala pulled every black girl magic, black woman, we for the people, black power card that she could pull to get black women's attention. She did pull the AKA card, the HBCU card, like that statement said. She did the black girl magic thing. She did everything that she needed to do in order to gain the attention and the support of black women across the United States as a voting bloc. Okay? All of the black women who were able to vote, who desired to vote, whether they were of so-called low class or so-called high class, were going over to vote for Kamala. See, they voted for that Democratic ticket. Number one, because black women are always really blindsided and really blind on politics, and you're blind on mobility. And I keep saying that as women, we don't completely understand the totality of mobility, but at the same time, it's not like we can't understand any part of it. And black women, I think, make themselves look really, really dumb as a voting bloc, because first of all, you keep voting Democrat as if that is going to give black people, quote unquote, some type of leg up. You always are saying that your voting is for the betterment of black people, but it's really not. You vote Democrat because you are trying to better black women's situation more than anybody else, and really to the detriment of everybody else. This is why you keep going down that road, because they keep promising you things that are going to uplift you and that are going to keep you in control of black culture, you in control of the black community, you above black men in different ways in the society, to keep you in control. This is really the real reason why you keep voting Democrat like that, right? Because let's go ahead and get down into it. You're voting Democrat because that is the party that comes out right to say we're going to give basically black women, we're going to continue to give them the upper hand in their community. And that's what you're really going for. So it doesn't matter to you what the real platforms are that these Democratic politicians are running on, what their politics have been. Biden has been in some type of office. He's been in government longer than I've been alive. Okay, so he has an extensive track record of what he thinks, what his policies are, what he thinks about the black community, what he thinks about black men. All of this stuff is recorded. All of this stuff is on record. So it's not off record. It's not hidden. It's not in some deep, dark archive somewhere where you can't find it. It is out in the open. It is here in your face. The footage alone of him presenting the 94 crime bill and all of the things that he said about black men and black people in general should be enough for every black person of voting age and who has the right to vote in America to have turned their back on him. But you didn't. You wanted to vote for him, and you voted for him because, I believe, because of his track record, because of the 94 crime bill. I think you like that bill because it targeted black men, or at the very least, you didn't care about that bill because it targeted black men more so than any other demographic in America, right? So you don't care what happens to black men. You have no care about what happens to black men. It doesn't matter to you which way that goes. They can be here or they can jump off the edge of the earth. You don't care. If you're not benefiting from black men, you don't care. And you will advocate and root for Zaddy as Zaddy creates programs to destroy black men systematically and methodically. But I'm not going to go too far down into that tangent. I want to come back around to Kamala and black women. Not only did you vote for the Biden ticket for Biden, you voted for it because Kamala told you she was black. And even the young lady in the TikTok video, after seeing how and basically talking about how much of a scam Kamala is, she still referred to Kamala as black. Kamala does not refer to herself as black. After she got y'all vote, she's not black. You realize that she embraced her East Indian and Asian Pacific Islander roots, right? Because they're considered, East Indians are considered part of the Asian subcontinent. You understand that, right? So when she got your votes, and I think you voted for her also because of her track record with black men when she was the DA in California. The stiffest penalties that she could think up for black men, she passed them out. She was prosecuting folk left and right. So you voted for two politicians that had a track record for undermining and incarcerating black men heavily with an imbalance more than any other demographic of men. That's not a mistake, black women, that you did that you looked at the track record, because all of you are not ignorant of the track record. A lot of you went to the voting polls because she was a black woman, or at least she told you she was a black woman and was going to advocate for black women. So y'all didn't care, or you still don't know even now today what her policies are, right? But you voted her into office. You were part of the crew that went down and voted her into office, talking about some get your booty to the poll and using strippers to try to influence folks to go down there and vote. Okay? Y'all did that. So, but there are also those black women who knew full and well what the policies of both of those politicians were. And the fact that they are heavy-handed against black men specifically, that was actually a plus to you, because you would like to be heavy-handed against black men in areas wherever you can, in your personal or your professional life. So you definitely voted in two politicians that were on that whole thing. They were on that. They still on it. You got nothing out of this deal. You thought Kamala was going to be on your side, because that's the other reason why you vote Democrat, because it's so quote unquote leftist and progressive, because most of y'all are Marxists, because feminism has Marxist roots and ideologies. So that left-leaning ideology suits you. You like this stuff. Okay? This is the brainwash. This is what is going through your mind, even subconsciously. Right? So you voted because this black woman, so you assumed, was going to, basically, you were hoping that Kamala could run the presidential seat from the background. Why? Because Joe Biden is old and he ain't got it no more. Okay? Cognitively is what I'm saying. So you feel like, okay, she can run the presidential seat from the back seat. She can backseat drive this whole thing. All she got to do is get in his ear. But what you come to realize is that Kamala is not competent either. Kamala Harris is not competent. She may be cutthroat, but that doesn't make her competent. Okay? You voted. You put your bet on the wrong horse. Completely. You completely bet on the wrong horse. And so there are a few of you now that are coming to social media to actually say, Kamala's not helping us. Duh. Why would she help you? She was busy locking up black men that would ultimately be the downfall and the long-term detriment of the black community, to keep the black community in the pits. Of course she wasn't going to help you individually, aside from your men. You go when that wagon come. This is what y'all don't understand. Y'all so busy trying to send black men up the river that you have not understood that you are in a boat with no paddle as well. Okay? You so busy trying to make sure the waters is choppy for black men. You have not understood yet. You have not looked around to your environment to realize that you are in this little bitty paddle boat, but they didn't give you no paddles either. They know, whether you realize it or not, they know that by sinking the black man, you're sunk. You're not going to be able to progress any further. The black race is not going to be able to progress any further because they put you, quote unquote, in charge. So there was no area where Kamala was trying to help nobody. She don't even identify as black until the next election. You know, when it come time to run again and stuff like that, she be black again, and y'all will bite it again. Y'all will go for a hook, line, and sinker again because you goofy. Because you've been going for the whole thing the whole time. Y'all still stuck in feminism and ain't figured out since the 60s, and looking at these past generations and the mounting failures of the black community at large and of black women specifically, failing at what women are supposed to succeed at, y'all still ain't figured that out. So you dizzy dumb. You extra goofy. This is why they keep coming over here bopping you upside the head with the same lie. It's the same thing. Even Hillary Clinton tried y'all. Remember when she pulled up with quote unquote hot sauce in her purse? Y'all remember that? And y'all call yourself was halfway offended by it, but not really, because she was still running on a Democratic ticket. Y'all remember that? Like she tried you. Had Roland Martin up there on stage dancing like a fool. Okay? Please don't tell me y'all don't remember that. And every other Democrat that has ran have come along with the same bop upside your head and the same lie. And you keep believing it. Every 4 years, you believe it. When it come time for the elections, the presidential elections, y'all fall for the same okie doke every time. Because you believe unequivocally in the word of Zaddy. Because he ain't never told you nothing wrong and he ain't never lied. Right? And before anybody says it, this is not a battle about the difference between Republicans and Democrats. Because I know somebody's going to say it. That's not what I'm talking about at all. Okay? You voted Kamala in, but what has she done tangibly that actually helped black women, since you were voting on your own interests, your specific interests as black women and not black people as a whole? I want to know, what are the tangible things that Kamala Harris has done from her vice presidential seat that assisted and aided black women specifically, not women of color, black women, because black women voted her in. Black women hitched their wagon to that horse. Black women celebrated it. Y'all took that as a W. Y'all took that as a win. Oh, we got the first black female vice president that does not identify as black at all. She melanated. She identified with that. But she don't identify with black. She ain't none of you. Who are you? Who are you? Who have you been to her? You ain't nobody to her. But what I'm gonna do is I am going to show you the second video. Okay? I'm going to show you the second video. And then we're going to talk a little bit about that before our commercial break. So let me go ahead and share my screen again.
Politics means compromise, sometimes to your roots, but has the first female vice president in U.S. history overshot? This is the shady side of Kamala Harris. Kamala Harris's journey to political prominence initially began after she graduated from the University of California's Hastings College of Law with a JD in 1989. She famously attended Howard University for her undergrad degree. The future vice president took her first job as a deputy district attorney in Oakland, California in 1990, serving until 1998. But Harris's career may have started in earnest when in 1994 she met the powerful California politician and San Francisco mayor Willie Brown, who was, quote, a notorious womanizer, according to the San Francisco Weekly. Harris was 29, Brown 60, and married, although according to the debunking website Snopes, he had been estranged from his wife for more than a decade. He was powerful in Bay Area politics, and the two began dating. Brown was also allegedly corrupt, his office under investigation by the FBI, and Harris eventually dumped her aging lover. Still, when she ran for district attorney in 2003, Brown put his weight behind her anyway. Harris won, but according to Politico, critics, including her opponents, were bemoaning cronyism at City Hall. Once in office, Harris threw Brown under the bus. The ambitious young politician declared her benefactor all but dead, saying, "His career is over. I will be alive and kicking for the next 40 years. I do not owe him a thing." Politico branded Harris as, quote, ruthless. Harris has been spinning a seemingly apocryphal childhood yarn for years that goes something like this. When she was a toddler in Oakland, California, she was separated from her parents at a march. Young Kamala was found, but fussing, and according to Harris's retelling in an interview with Elle, her mother asked her, "Baby, what do you want? What do you need?" And I just looked at her and I said, "Freedom." Harris told versions of this tale in her 2010 book Smart on Crime, as well as her 2019 book The Truths We Hold: An American Journey, according to the New York Post. She giggled her way through the anecdote on late night TV with Jimmy Fallon as well.
And she said, "Kamala, what do you want?" And I said, "Freedom."
However, observers have pointed out a remarkable similarity to a story that Martin Luther King Jr. told Playboy during the Civil Rights era. In 1965, King recounted the story to Playboy, saying, "I will never forget a moment in Birmingham when a white policeman accosted a little Negro girl, 7 or 8 years old, who was walking in a demonstration with her mother. 'What do you want?' the policeman asked her gruffly, and the little girl looked at him straight in the eye and answered, 'Feed 'em.'" While the similarities in the stories can't be ignored, Snopes remains undecided on whether it's outright plagiarism, stating that Harris claims to have no direct memory of the incident, but rather has simply repeated a story told to her. Politics means compromise, sometimes.
Okay. So, let me come out of that. So, that's the real one that y'all voted for. She go right with the hyena clan. I understand why you thought you could identify with her, because she is a part of the hyena clan. Y'all saw that? She got a whole career based on throwing folks under the bus after she done used them to climb the political ladder and get to where she feel like she don't need you no more. And then she kick you, she kick you to the curb, and now she don't need you. You can go kick rocks with open-toe shoes on now. Now you slept with the San Francisco mayor, okay? Got in good with him so that you could sleep your way to your position, basically. Once you got into your position, you went ahead, dumped him off, and when you were secure, and then you were asked what you thought and what you had to say about that entire situation, "I'll be alive and kicking for 40 years from now. I don't owe him a thing." So basically cracking on the fact that this was an old man. He was old when you got with him. But you wasn't trying to get with him because you liked him. You were getting with him because that was your entry into the political world and into a position that you aspired for. And since he must have found you attractive, enough to deal with, then that's what you did. Because that's what dirty back feet do. Dirty political back feet do the same thing as dirty back feet do in the hood, and that dirty back feet do in corporate America. Okay? Back feet are back feet. Y'all track dirt and grime everywhere you go. That's why nobody wants you to come outside of the boneyard, because you make everything else filthy. And Kamala Harris is no different. That is not even digging deep enough down, but that's the true face of the woman that y'all thought would be in y'all corner after y'all voted for her. But what we're going to do is we're going to take a real quick commercial break. I want y'all to get the lights up as we take this break, and we're going to come back with my perspective on this whole thing. All right? Be right back.
Hey y'all, Donnie Keith here, aka Auntie Peaches from the Aunties Radio Show, also on The Voice of Reason. I'm here to say that ever since my man started taking A game, he's been on top of his A game. What? When I say A game, I mean his A game. He's more focused. He's definitely working out more. His attitude is better. And he's not complaining of all over body aches due to poor blood circulation, because A-Game provides great blood circulation, if you know what I mean, ladies. That blood circulation. Sometimes I have to hide the A-Game in the bushes when I'm out walking the dog, just because I want some sleep. If you know what I mean, ladies. Stay on top of your A-Game, fellas. Get your A-Game.
Okay, so we back. So everybody go ahead. Bam, 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 bam. You gotta get the lights up. Bam, bam. You gotta So go ahead. Get my lights up, please. Really, really appreciate that. And don't forget to support the show. So you guys go ahead and hit the super chat for me. Okay, hit the cash app for me. I don't like really stopping the show to ask for that, but I really do appreciate the support. So let's get down and dirty into it. Kamala Harris has not helped black women. We have established that, because black women remain open to violence. She has not attempted to come to the black community or approach the black community or approach black women about C-19, what you guys can do about these mandates, how to navigate the system with that, how to get back to work if you have been laid off due to mandates about the jab. Okay? She has not come to the black community to help with the upcoming food shortage, because the supply lines are breaking down so badly. No one really wants to talk about those things, but these are the realities of what's coming down the pike soon, very soon, in the United States. We're about to hit some really interesting times, some really hard times. And everybody got a couple of black women. And the women that you voted for, because remember I told y'all be trying to get the 4 Ps from other women. She's not gonna cover you. Even with all of her political power and her political sway being in the vice presidential seat, she's not gonna use any of that leverage or any of that weight to bear behind black women. Since y'all feel like y'all the only community anyway, she's not really putting anything behind you to propel you forward, to progress you, or to prepare you for the things that are coming up, or to protect you from the threats that you already face. Because when black women go missing, when black women are murdered, You don't get Gabby Petito coverage. Y'all know who I'm talking about. I think that's her name, Petito or Gabby. I forget her name. But there was a white girl about last month that they were doing a manhunt for because her boyfriend, fiance or whatever, went off on a cross-country road trip and he came back by himself. And then they later on found him dead in the woods or whatever because he was trying to go on the lam. But they covered that and covered that and covered that. One woman, and I'm not saying her life wasn't worth anything, but what I'm pointing out to you is that was one woman among thousands of missing women and children every day. And they had nonstop 24-hour news coverage and updates about what her family was going through, how far they had gotten into the search, whether or not they had found anything, those sorts of things. But when black women go missing, nobody looks for them. Nobody looks for you. And you know who should be looking for you? That same system that you feed your men and your children into to try to absolve yourself, and they don't come for you either. After you feed your men into the system and after you feed your children into it, they just leave you to rot. Say, oh, well, she's ripe for the picking. We can come over to her and get her at any time. This is the uncovering. Let's get down into some other things. You failed to listen to the leadership and the advice of black men. What did the collective of black men say? We are not voting for Biden or Kamala because of their what? Their policies, number one. First of all, we're not trying to vote Democrat because it's always some BS for us in it. So we're not going to do that. You're not going to get us to vote against our interests. And not only is it against black male interests, ultimately, when it's against black men's interests, it's against the interests of the black community at large. Because what men understand and women don't is that they are the protection. They are the cover. And black men have understood that this country and the institutions therein have always worked in solidarity with one another to keep black men not in that position. And the number one place he's not in that position is in the mind and the heart of black women. This is where the independent, strong and independent tropes come from. And this is why they push it so much, because you're the one that needs to believe that black men aren't anything. They don't even believe that. They just got to make sure you believe it. And black men told y'all, but y'all was so trying to be on the, you know what I'm saying, number 45 was, you know, racist and all this other type of stuff, nonsense. That you voted against everybody's interest anyway. Black men told you, do not vote them into office. Their policies have been destructive for the black community. It has been a terror in the black community. The 94 crime bill alone devastated the community by incarcerating black men to the high degree that they did, with the stiffest penalties that they could for the same offenses that other demographics of men were committing, that was receiving less sentencing, not as long of sentences, not as stiff of punishments. It ravaged the black community, especially on the heels of the crack epidemic. And black women are oblivious to it. Don't care about that. Doesn't mean anything. These are the issues that we're looking at. And it was because black men did not want to vote for Biden and the Harris ticket. Y'all voted for them kind of out of spite too. Oh, y'all gonna be Trump supporters? Tried to shame black men into not voting, which would really have been under their best interest to vote Republican this time. And again, this isn't an endorsement of one or the other, really. What I'm really talking about is it would have been better for business. This is not emotional. And this is what I'm talking about with black women and going towards the emotional thing rather than the practical thing, rather than the facts and the numbers. Black men were looking at the facts and the numbers, not the feelings. Who cares if number 45 don't like black people? You name a president that did. I'll wait. But it wasn't about whether he liked black people or not, or was buddy-buddy with them, or none of that stuff. What mattered was what was his policies and how can I benefit from those policies? What's the risk-reward ratio of dealing with him? There's always been a two-party system here for as long as anybody alive can remember. So if you want to call it, you know what I'm saying, pick your poison, or you want to say the lesser of two evils, okay, let's say that. But that would have been the lesser of two. Because black men would have been able to capitalize on some of these policies. Because the one thing he might, number 45 might not have been a politician, but he is a businessman. He is a businessman. He does understand how to run business, though. At a high level, not little mom and pop businesses. So he's going to approach the economy in that manner because that's what he knows and that's what he understands and that's what he was doing. Right? And black men said, let's vote this way this time. Maybe we can get some type of little way that we can make it better for us. We can take advantage of some of these things because number 45 wasn't in their circle. That was actually a benefit, or it could have been. But y'all don't ever listen to black men because apparently y'all feel like black men don't know what they're talking about. And not only do you feel like black men don't know what they're talking about, you are always voting in your own personal best interest as women. You do not vote in the interest of black people no matter what you say. Because y'all hid behind that. Y'all hid behind 45's remarks and, you know, the different little things that he was doing, which y'all really was getting brainwashed by the media about a lot of that stuff. Because y'all don't know him. Nobody knew him from a can of paint. Okay? He was new to the political scene, but Biden was not and is not. He old as Methuselah. He's been in politics, you know, since the independence of America, 1776. He's been sitting on a seat somewhere. Okay? He has a solidified track record. Not good for black people. It has never been good for black people. Nothing that he has ever proposed, no bill he has ever written or helped wrote, none of it. None of it. Then Kamala, she a scumbag. Sleep her way to the top, sleep her way to the positions that she want to be in. I don't see any real talent there. I don't see any particular drive there. Both of them are inept. They get on these speeches and on microphones. And if they don't read that teleprompter word for word verbatim and they go off script, it is a done deal because they going to say something ignorant. It's almost 100% guaranteed. People laugh at Biden, but she ain't no better. And then you heard about the disarray of her office. She don't want to tell nobody where she's going. No, you got to have Secret Service detail, and you have aides, and you have assistants, and you have all types of staff that are there to help arrange your days as a politician. You're at the second seat of the highest political position in the land. Vice President of the United States. That's just number 2. all. No interest in black women at all. She ghosted y'all. Got you to put your support behind her, get her in office, because that's what Kamala Harris does. She, schmoozes up, act like she got something in common with you, act like she, is on your side, act like she can identify with you and your struggles and the everyday things that you go through. She not even a good actor. She just come actually say the words, but there's no emotion behind it. And y'all bought it anyway because you're so desperate and you're so eager to do something over and above black men. And that's what it really came down to. You were so eager to do something that black men didn't want you to do to prove that you can move unilaterally without the approval of black men, and you took an L. And you're going to take another L because when it comes time for her to run again, y'all are going to forget all of this stuff conveniently. You're going to forget that she gave you her backside to kiss after she became vice president and everybody made a hoopla about her being the first black woman or first woman of color or the first woman, period, to serve at that high level of government. And when election time come around again and she need that same voting block, she gonna come back through and try to act like she know what it is to be black. She gonna try to act like she understands the American black female experience. And she gonna woo you back to sleep because you wanna be asleep. So it's not gonna be hard. You halfway in the bed tucked in right now. So all she gotta do is come in with a little lullaby. Boom, there you go. She got you. You want to be asleep. So when she come back through like the Pied Piper with that little flute and lull you back to sleep, you're going to vote again. And well, we're going to give her a second chance. You know what I'm saying? You know how it is in politics. Them first 4 years, you really can't get stuff off the ground. You're trying to fix what 45 did. Y'all gonna have an excuse for it. Y'all gonna have a laundry list of excuses about it. And you gonna vote her back in and she gonna give you her backside to kiss again. She really gonna do it the next time because that'll be the last term. You can't vote her in or out unless she wants to go for the presidential seat next time. Okay? That's the problem that you're having. You wanted to go your own way and it backfired. And this isn't the first time it has backfired on you because you keep using your emotions and you keep using your disdain for black men that you can't even bring yourself to listen to them one time on a collective level to say, let's do something other than what we've been doing that has not gotten us good results. And for y'all to be voting on y'all own principles all the time, you all have not even gotten good results from this. I'm still waiting on somebody to tell me what black women have achieved all of these years, voting Democrat, getting handouts, welfare entitlement programs, and all of these sorts of things. How has that helped you? How have we become better as a people? I don't understand. You have not even become a better woman. As a matter of fact, you become a worse woman. You're a worse woman. Every generation you get worse. Every generation you know less and less. You understand less and less about how the world works. Every generation you get more and more away from leadership and of order and of structure. And you go more and more into foolishness and delusions about things based on how you feel about things, which has nothing to do with the facts. Nothing at all. What did her being a black woman have to do with her politics anyway? We were supposed to be voting for people that had our best interests in mind or as close to it as they could come. between the choices that we have. And y'all didn't vote that way. Y'all voted number one against black men and number two for yourselves. Didn't work. It's not difficult to vote against black men because this country is geared towards that. But you look for your own, your own interests, and that didn't work either. So now what are you going to do? When it come down to election again, what are you going to do? Be strong and independent again? Do another booty to the poll advertisement and encouragement? Come use some scribbles again to try to get black men to go down and vote with you or vote the way that you want them to? To vote against their own self-interest and vote in favor of yours? So that they can get back in office, so they can give you nothing again? Because that's all that ever happens. That's all that ever happens. And you really should take a step back and try to figure out, what are you doing wrong? And I'm actually telling you what you're doing wrong. Because you vote against your demographic of men. No other group does that. Other groups don't do that. They just don't. And you can try to say, well, they don't do it because of this reason, that reason. It doesn't even matter what reason they do or don't do. The fact of the matter is, you are consistently running against the grain of black men and ultimately against the grain and what's good for black people to go for what you think is good for you. And it's not good for you. You keep casting your ballot for destruction, to be destroyed. You keep waving your hand, me, pick me, to be destroyed. So they come bop you upside the head again, get all your votes, tell you, sweet nothings in your ear about all that they're going to do for you and all that how they're going to help you and how you going to get all types of money. Because that's all y'all want is some handouts. So how we going to have these little programs revamped so you can get this type of money and that type of money and loans, and we'll make it easier for you to open businesses, and we'll make it easier for you to step on the neck of your man. We'll make it easier for you to jump the line in front of your man so that you can't be covered by him, so that we can come pluck you when we get ready. That part. And you go for it every time. It's not even funny anymore. It's not even a good joke anymore. They know you're brainwashed. They know you're gonna vote Democrat. They know you're gonna try to persuade the men to do the same. They know that. And they know now this election, this administration more than any before, I think, really know, we don't have to give them no tangibles. We don't have to actually give them anything. We can promise, and make the promise sound just good enough. And then when we get in, we don't have to give them anything. What do we have to give them? Nothing. And I bet you dollars to donuts, when election time come around again and she show up black, y'all gonna be like, oh, she black. But when you don't like what the chick is doing, then you want to question whether or not she black. Just like when I was talking about Brittany Renner and reading the riot act, you had black women talking about, well, she ain't really black, she biracial. And so is Kamala. Somehow that doesn't matter. Somehow, who cares? She'll be black again when she needs your vote again. You're used to being used. Misused, really, because everybody is here to be used, but nobody should be misused. But you volunteer for this stuff. You volunteer to be misused by the Democratic Party. They'll put black women's faces. They'll talk about the issues that black women want to talk about. They'll get up and make all the right speeches. They'll come to little awards. They'll come make appearances and hold up little black girls and stuff like that. They'll do that because they know that you don't deal in fact. You deal in fiction and feelings and delusions. So all they got to do is manipulate your feelings again, brainwash you with some articles, some news articles, and you'll be back going with the flow. Y'all not going to wake up. Y'all are not going to wake up because you never do. And it's not until this society really goes bottom up that y'all are going to understand it. And then some of y'all might not even understand it then. And for those of you, I feel real sorry. I feel real sorry. I don't know what to tell you with that. I bet you one thing you'll figure it out when you go to Walmart and ain't no food on the shelf. And it ain't a stock day. And they get to telling you they don't know when they gonna get no food in here. They don't know when they gonna get no Rice Krispie treats in here. We don't know when we gonna get them top ramen noodles. That's what you eat. We don't know when we gonna get them, pizza rolls in here again. They out. We out. It's an absolute shame. This is what happens when you don't listen. When you don't want no leadership. When you don't want to be covered by your men because you think so lowly of them. But they were right. And you were wrong. Because they were looking at the stats and the policies and the analytics, and they were using their foresight to determine that whether you like 45 or not, his policies may come in handy for us. And you didn't want to hear that. You didn't want to hear it. It was too much for you to say, let's ride with our men this time. Because he's not your man. In your estimation, black men are not your men. And that's why you don't ride with them at all. With nothing that they do, nothing that they talk about, nothing. So, speaking of men and what they can do and how we can help them and how we can ride with them, if you are riding with the men in your life, ladies, then you're going to have to get them some A game, A game, A game, A game is a male herbal solution with 21 wonderful herbs, no artificial ingredients, no artificial anything, no caffeine, no sugar, no sweeteners, nothing, just herbal goodness for black men that helps him with his vitality, his strength, his energy, and his libido. So fellas, if you're trying to get on your A game, ladies, if you have men in your life that you want them on their A game, all you got to do to become part of the A game family is to click the link that I pinned at the top of the chat, agameherbal.com, and you can get a 10% discount using the code Kendra10, and you can get this box of awesomeness delivered to you ASAP. All right, so I would like to thank everyone for their super chats and contributions, for your likes, for your participation. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Bye-bye, Crimsonites. Hey, guys, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. And if you've got more to say on the topic, leave a comment down below. Also, don't forget to support our sponsor, who so graciously supports this channel by clicking the description box and the link for A-Game at agameherbal.com. You can go ahead and get a 10% discount off of your next purchase using the code Kendra10. This has been yet another Crimson Cure production, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.